Breaking news, Canelo Alvarez versus Badou is reportedly 90% done, which makes a whole lot of sense because Bivol came out stating that Canelo is not going to fight him next due to the fact that Canelo was never serious about the rematch. In fact, they didn't even have serious negotiations to begin with. And now when we hear that Canelo versus Badou is 90% done, this explains what Canelo Alvarez was doing this entire time. He wasn't negotiating with Bivol nor Benavidez. All he was doing is negotiating with Badou. Therefore, I hate to tell you so, but I did tell you so, that Canelo Alvarez is not a man of his word. He promised his fans that he was going to fight Bivol next, but instead, he ended up turning down the Bivol rematch for the third time and the Benavidez fight for the second time. Remember, the first time Canelo ended up turning down $55 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view and sponsorship. The second time, Canelo this time around turned down $50 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view in order to fight Benavidez. Now, the irony of it all, Canelo stayed talking about he won a rematch Floyd, but he stayed turning down the Bivol rematch. In fact, we all know Canelo already turned down the Bivol rematch for the third time already. So we know Canelo is a walking contradiction and a capper. He only was calling out Floyd for a rematch after Floyd Mayweather retired. But when Floyd was still active, he never asked for a rematch. Additionally, apparently Canelo has been negotiating with Badou for a couple months now because the fight is 90% done and the only thing they have left is the weight. Apparently, Canelo wants to fight for the cruiserweight title. Not at cruiserweight, but more so at a light heavyweight division. It's reported that Canelo is pushing for a weight closer to light heavyweight than cruiserweight. This man is planning on making up history instead of making history. And what happened to the narrative of Canelo being too small for light heavyweight? That's why he lost to Bivol. But then he turned down the rematch even at 168 against Bivol. So we all know that was BS. Furthermore, it was also revealed that Canelo met up with Al Haymon, where Al Haymon offered Canelo the Jermall Charlo fight, which makes all of the sense in the world that all of a sudden now Canelo wants to fight Charlo, since Charlo is coming off more than 2 years layoff. I see a lot of race fans in the comment section that say, Canelo is king. I thought you guys said he avoids all of the black fighters. Viva Mexico. Well, duh. He's been avoiding Andrade and Charlo for nearly a decade. But the moment Charlo hasn't fought for 2 years, coming off a terrible performance, and the fact that Charlo has to move up in weight now, all of a sudden, now Canelo is entertaining the fight. Even Stevie Wonder could see how Canelo will only fight Charlo when he's at his lowest and weakest point. But not when he was his mandatory calling him out and knocking out everyone. Back then, Canelo vacated his belt. He was stripped of his belt in order to duck Charlo, or I should say, for ducking Charlo. So this is not up for debate. This is a fact that Canelo has been ducking Charlo, Andrade, Benavidez, so on and so forth for years. With that being said, we shall see what Canelo Alvarez does next. Most likely is Badou at a catchweight of 176. All jokes aside, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You heard Canelo keep on talking about trying to make the fight and he wants Bivol, but at the end of the day, Reynoso is going around talking to other people, discussing other fights. If Canelo wanted to try to make this fight, we would be talking about the fight now, or probably would be announced by now for September. So at the end of the day, I think it's just a justification for the fans that I want the revenge, I want the rematch but there's nothing serious, there's no talk. I mean, there's been some conversations. The last thing we heard him say is that I want the fight on the same terms as the first fight.